Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're talking about what you should look at when you're buying a new bike. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure that little bell icon is checked off right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. Though you don't miss any awesome cycling content on this channel. So right onto the video, we're talking about what you should look for when you're buying yourself a new bike. So this applies to anything from a new bike at a bike shop, bike at Walmart, bike on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever you might be using. Anytime you're buying a bike that is new to you, what should you look for? So number one thing you should look for, and I've talked about this before in previous videos, of course, going to be the frame size on the bike. I have made a short all about this and what frame size would fit you based on your height. You go take a look at that short. I'll post it right up in the corner over there. But pretty much the basic measurement you need to know is pretty much from the center of the crankshaft up to the top of the seat post tube right here. Pretty much that is going to give you your size of the frame. Sometimes you're lucky and actually stamps on the frame or stickered on the frame. Sometimes you have to be pretty lucky. Sometimes they fall off. So once you have that figured out and you know it's the right size for you, second thing you want to look at is, of course, wheel size. So generally, if you're an adult, you're going to be looking for a 26, a 27.5, or a 29-inch wheel. If you're a smaller kid than that, I again have a whole video about what size wheel is going to fit you best as a kid and what size is going to fit you even as an adult the best. So check those out. I have videos all about those. Once you have those all figured out and the bike is looking great, it's the right size, right wheel size, all that is good for you. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and feel the tires. Go ahead, give them a nice little squeeze. Make sure they have air in them. That's going to be your first test. If they don't have air in them, you might have a flat tire. You might have to fix that if it's a used bike. Or if it's a bike shop, maybe they didn't pump it up. Maybe it has a slow leak for some reason. So make sure your tires are full of air. If the tires are not all good, make sure you have them pump it up for you. So that way your tires are nice and inflated. And you know they're not going to lose a bunch of pressure or they're not totally flat in the first place. Once you've checked your tires, you're going to move on to your next step. And that's going to be go ahead and grab your brakes, give them a little squeeze on the levers. And as long as the brakes feel good, feel solid, they have some resistance, and you can even try rolling the bike a little bit and grabbing that brake and make sure it at least stops the wheel. That means you know your brakes are working, which is always a good thing. When you at least have pads, the cables are somewhat adjusted, but you have the ability to stop. Once you have that set, you need to make sure, of course, your seat is adjusted to your height. That's not something you need to know, but make sure, of course, there's a seat and that's adjusted. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to want to take a test ride on your bike. Now, I know it's become a not common thing for people to take test rides on bikes, but you really need to. When you take a test ride on the bike, that's when you're really going to know the bike fits you really well and that the bike is in perfect condition and working order. If you don't take a test ride, there's a lot of things that won't present themselves until you actually ride the bike, such as bottom bracket issues, wheel bearing issues, seat creaking, frame creaking. Any of those things you're not going to know until you actually test ride the bike. Even things as simple as the gears working, you won't know unless you actually ride the bike. So take it for a test drive, whether that's around the parking lot or however far they'll let you go. But that way you can run through and check all your gears, make sure it actually shifts through the gears, see if they're nice and smooth or if they're a little crummy. Then you can kind of adjust from there. You know that either they're working or they're not. Listen for sounds as you're riding, so don't wear headphones or anything. Try and listen for sounds as you pedal. Try to beat on it a little bit. It's not your bike yet. Remember that. Not your bike. You can beat on it just a little bit. Don't break it, but beat on it a little bit because you know you're going to ride it and you're essentially going to beat on it yourself. So make sure you at least put it through some paces. That way you know what's wrong and what's still working. If everything checks out there, you're essentially ready to buy your bike. You do have one other resource you can use. There's a site called Cyclist. If your frame happens to have a manufacturer and a model on it, you can go on Cyclist. You can try and look it up, especially if you know about what year they purchased it on. You can kind of get an idea of what they're valuing that bike at. However, some bikes, like my good old Carl's Blvd here, there doesn't exist a listing on Cyclist, so you kind of have to go off of what other bikes are going for in your area or what other bikes kind of like this are going for, and that's how you base your price off of that. But other than that, it's a really simple process to make sure you're not getting gypped over on a bike, you know the bike is working, and how to make sure that bike fits and works great for you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love chatting with you guys. Love answering any questions you guys have, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching today.